Well, hi there, everybody. Welcome to Trailblazer Baseball this week. Chris Pfatenhauer, the head baseball coach for Utah Tech, coming up a little bit later. Randy Simpkins, the head softball coach here for the Trailblazers, will join us. But it's baseball season, Coach. Spring is in the air.
Yeah, the weather's unbelievable, and we're glad we got that first one in.
You had your opening series, 4-game set against Northern Colorado at Bruce Hurst Field just across the street this past weekend. You split that series 2-2. Just give us an overall idea of what you saw with your team, what you liked, what you need to improve on this early part of the season.
Yeah, improvements to start. We didn't hit with runners in scoring position. We stranded a lot of runners. That game we lose by a run on Sunday. We left the bases loaded in the second and the third inning.
Got a grand slam though
on
Saturday.
We did. We hit 4 home runs and we had some big hits, but we didn't get enough of them to win the series. And we played tremendous defense, and we pitched well here and there. We walked and hit too many guys, gave them too many free bases, but we'll clean that up this week and get after Riverside this week.
Everyone wants to know about pitching and the talent you have and the depth that you have. Give us just a rundown of what you got in the pen.
Yeah, we like our arms a lot. We're the firmest we've ever been in terms of velocity. We've got good stuff, and some guys really showed well this weekend. Some other guys just struggled with command. We really didn't get hit at all. I think we out-hit them every game. We just gave them too many free bases. So again, pitchers will clean that up this week, and we got to trust our defense and compete in the zone.
You talk about velocity, and that's something that you didn't have enough of the last couple of years, right? So you feel like you filled that void?
Yeah, I think in the transition from Division II to Division I, that was probably our hardest thing to catch up in terms of getting some horses on the mound. And we feel like we're there. We don't have a bunch of guys throwing 98, like some of these schools maybe do, but we've got a lot of good velocity, but with that, you got to command it. You got to throw strikes. You got to make speeds. It's getting to where everybody can hit 93, 94. But I like where we're at and where we're going.
And the last couple of years, making that transition from D2 to D1, you harped on it and you talked a lot about you needed to improve your defense. You need to be a better defensive team. Are you there yet?
Yeah, I think so. I think having the maturity we have, Aaron Perez at first base, Gold Glove type first baseman, moving Kyle McDaniel over to second base to play up the middle with Soto, Petey Soto Jr., and then Ryan Krapel, who we brought in from ASU in the infield. That's 3 sophomores that are really advanced defensively from a skill set, from arm strength. They played really well this weekend. We made 1 error in the infield this weekend and really improved our outfield defense as well, like our catchers. So, yeah, a lot of good things moving forward defensively for us.
And you got another 4-game home set at Bruce Hurst Field this week against UC Riverside. Talk about the improvement that you want to see in this second weekend of the season.
Yeah, I think just where we started, on the mound, we just need to command our pitches a little bit more. Need to throw more strikes, challenge their hitters a little bit more. And then from an offensive standpoint, we got to get the big hits. It's one thing to get a hit in the first inning with nobody on. It's different to get one in the 8th inning with bases loaded. Yeah. We've got to get those big hits. So we're going to spend a lot of time here in about 30 minutes just working on some mental, emotional preparation, what we're doing on deck and what we're doing in the hole to prepare for those moments. Because, the game speeds up sometimes on you, especially when you're young and when the season's early. So we want to make sure we control that a little bit better.
All right, so a good crowd over the weekend too, especially on Sunday. So expect another good showing by the Trailblazer faithful this weekend. Friday at
4:05.
4:05. Then you got a doubleheader on Saturday starting at noon, and then Sunday at noon. Okay, that's this weekend, the second weekend for Trailblazer baseball. UC Riverside coming into town. They're a lot of fun to watch. Got a grand slam. We're going to get another one at least.
Well, I appreciate it. We love the crowd. That was awesome, and we hope to play a brand of baseball that people want to watch.
All right. We'll see you out on the diamond this week. Trailblazers and UC Riverside, a 4-game set beginning on Friday at Bruce Hurst Field. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll turn it over to the softball. Head coach Randy Simpkins will join us. They've already played 11 games, Coach. They got a few more on you.
Trying to catch up.
And they just came back from Hawaii. When are you going to get that trip?
I don't know if I missed that trip. You'll have to talk to Coach Simpkins about that.
All right, we're going to say aloha to the softball coach when we come back. If
If you haven't seen Utah Tech University lately, chances are you haven't seen it at all. With hands-on polytechnic learning across 300 academic programs, 30 new and renovated state-of-the-art facilities, the most affordable university tuition in the state, and 300 days of sunshine, why look anywhere else? Discover why Utah Tech was recently named one of Education Magazine's 10 prominent universities and colleges to watch. Join us and experience the active learning, active life difference at Utah Tech.
All right, welcome back to Trailblazer Baseball and Softball this week. Rod Zundel here, along with the head softball coach at Utah Tech, Randy Simpkins. All right, you already have 11 games in the book. 2 weekends ago, you had a tournament in California. Then you had a 6-game in 4 days in Hawaii. Tough gig, by the way. You just got back on Monday, right? You came back?
Just got back yesterday.
After 11 games, you're 4-7. You've had some good spots. You've liked what you've seen. Just give us an overall view of the first 11 and where you're at.
You know what? We're a few swings and a few plays away from being 7-4 or maybe even 8-3. We lost 2 in Hawaii, both to University of Hawaii in the bottom of the last inning. Both games that we had either leads or should have won. We lost a close one to Sac State, same thing. So we're 3 or 4 games away from being 7-4 or 8-3.
Yeah.
So we really like where we're at. Probably the biggest improvement over last year is we're hitting. And we've always been a really, really, really good hitting team. Mm-hmm. 2 years ago when we won our conference, we were second in the nation in overall team batting average behind national champion Oklahoma. And we were second in the country in doubles behind Florida State, who was second.
Are you expecting that caliber of hitting this year?
We're deeper. I don't know if we're that good yet, but we're deeper, top to bottom in our lineup. And I told our kids this the other day. We're deeper, top to bottom in our lineup than we ever have been at the Division I level. We've got 4 or 5 kids on the bench that aren't getting the at bats that maybe they would like to, that are really, really good hitters. Yeah. So when we go to a pinch hitter or somebody else in a different spot in the lineup, they're really going to be good. And the bottom part of our lineup has really come through for us.
Okay, so you're deeper. How does that translate into more wins and improving and going for another WAC title that you had a year or so ago?
Well, that's going to be the thing that's going to help us win tight games. Coach Fate talked about hitting with runners in scoring position, and unless you're in the right spot in your lineup, if you're not very deep, you're not going to hit with runners in scoring position. We really like our lineup right now, where if we have to go to a pinch hitter, that pinch hitter's still really good. Yeah. And I think that's going to translate into us winning some of these close games a little bit more often.
In the first 2 weekend series, have you learned anything about your team that's saying, that's a lot better than what I was expecting?
We knew pitching was going to be a little bit of a question mark because we lost our number 1 pitcher last year. She graduated early, decided not to come back. We were planning on her coming back, throwing 100+ innings. She decided not to. So we knew our freshmen and our transfers were going to have to step up. 2 weekends ago in California, we struggled at times. Last weekend, we threw the ball really well. Yeah. We only had 1 game we really struggled in as far as not really pitching well. But the other games we pitched it really, really well, and we gave us a chance to win. So we've got a couple of freshmen and a couple of transfers, and a kid last year that 2 years ago was really good, Soren Garten. Last year had a little bit of a sophomore slump. Everybody knew about her a little bit more. Everybody scouted her a little bit better. Yeah. But she's throwing the ball really, really well. We lost a close game to Hawaii the other night, and I told her, that's probably the best you've pitched in 3 years. She was fantastic. Yeah. We just couldn't push it across another run for her.
So what I'm hearing is that this is a work in progress, and by the end of the season, you go into the WAC tournament, you're going to be ready. That's what I'm hearing, Coach.
We feel like it. Yeah, our young kids are really good, and they want to be good right now. Yeah. They're not, hey, I'm a freshman, I'll be good in a couple of years. They know, hey, the game doesn't care. Yeah. The game doesn't care if you're a freshman. The game wants you to be good right now. And they've stepped up, and they've really played well.
You got a tournament coming here in St. George. Talk about that and what we can expect if we want to come out and watch.
Yeah, the Lyman Classic, and this is Dennis and Diane Lyman, who have been a big donor to our program, and they've donated a lot towards the building of our new facility, which is going to be a huge benefit for our program. And Diane actually went to the Hawaii trip with us. Yeah. Her and her son were there, and Wendy and Jake Bulkley, they went from our development office. So it was fantastic. We had a lot of families over there, but this is the Lyman Classic. And Diane's a huge supporter of our program. She'll throw out the first pitch before our Boise State game on Thursday.
Thursday it starts against Boise State.
Thursday at 3, and then we have 4 games on our field on Friday, 4 Saturday, and 2 on Sunday. And then we have a couple of games out at the Canyons Complex as well, because we have so many teams here. We have to play a few of those games out there.
And you're set of who you play, right?
Yep.
So you play Boise Thursday.
And then we have Idaho State, Utah State, University of San Diego, and Weber State.
That's good field.
Yeah, it's a really good field. We also have it next year. Looking forward to next year, not to preempt any of your questions, but we'll have, and I'm not really sure how we're even marketing this, but probably going to be the Beehive Classic. We have all Division I teams coming in next year at the end of February. So all of the 7 Division I teams in the state of Utah will come here for a tournament next February 26th through the 28th.
That's worth talking about right now. So, all right, so things get started, and quickly, I asked Coach Fate this. What do you want to see the improvement from last weekend series to what you're going to find out this weekend?
Just finishing games, pitching and defense. We had a couple of little mistakes. We had a couple of defensive mistakes and a couple of little pitching mistakes that kind of changed the complexion of a couple of innings. But just, we're right there. So we clean up a few things like that, clean up pitching just a little bit, clean up defense just a little bit, and then continue to hit like we are.
Thursday, Boise State, 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock.
Yep.
So you can go back and forth, baseball diamond to softball diamond, have a great weekend of baseball.
Yeah, we talked about our ticketing today, and we're going to have people doing that all weekend.
Oh, that's awesome. So, hey, come on out to the ballpark here at Utah Tech. Should be a lot of fun. Coach, Randy Simpkins, thanks. Chris Fatenhauer, thanks. We'll see you next week.